Hello, people of God. As we promised, we shall be looking at the books that were launched last year during the Day of the African Child. The books that are purposed to be a syllabus for children between 1 year to 20 years and above. And these are basically people who are in instructive period of growth, and especially acquisition of basic education from mother tongue to foreign and local contents. But we are doing this because some of this information that we are about to share have never been shared in schools, and especially information about the history and culture of Africans. Reasons, like we have always said, colonial structures and systems. Why was it important for Africans not to learn about themselves, but to learn about where colonialists came from? This was a deliberate, systematic plan and strategy for them to continue with new slavery and new colonialism. Basically, you are being turned to identify not with what God had endowed in you and what God had resourced you with, but what another human being wanted to gain through you. This is called brainwashing. Other people call it mental slavery. So you have 5 sets of books here. This is volume 5. This is book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4, and book 5. So all these sets of books, this is for people within the bracket of age 16 and 18. So we have these brackets, and all of these books, until those who are around 19 to 21, these books are 30 pieces of booklets. And so for these 30 pieces of booklets, they are available as soft copies at a fee of 5,000 only. So whoever would like to purchase them, they can DM me, and also they can email us through the Orthodox TV Kenya or my personal email, isaac.mn@gmail.com. So the first content of the first book of volume 5, it talks about, we look at the content, it talks about the introduction to African traditional original beliefs. So what was there before the missionaries and the Jews came and taught us about the Bible? Does it mean that God was not there before they showed up in Africa? So this book is introducing you to what was the belief. So what we have not done in this version of people who are under school instructions, so that we may not disrupt the kind of system the government and the church of education and the content that they are being given. We have made it so simple, just mentioning, just as the school systems do to us. They mention and define, but they do not go into depth. So this is what we have done. And we have used the CBE model of offering. The new Explore Body Splash with wild flowers, fine fragrance mist for 250 but to guide them so that they themselves, in this digital age, they are able to do what they are required to research. But one caution I'll give to them is that social media, AI, and all these digital infrastructures and systems are biased to what is Western knowledge and Western strategic provision of information. Those people who are anti-Western, their information can never be found on Google and any of the AI. We were hopeful that the DeepSeek AI will provide the alternative because it comes from the BRICS, from China. Just as we thought TikTok, because it was a Chinese application, would give an alternative to what has been sidelined all this while in what we are calling colonialism and continuation of it as neo-colonialism, slavery and continuation of it as neo-slavery. So lucky enough, around 2003, I met a book by Ngugi wa Thiong'o and Ngugi wa Miri. So they were talking about the creation story from the African tribes, and it was very captivating because it talks about the Kono people from Guinea. It talks about the people of the Wapangwa of Tanzania. It also talks about the Malozi people of Zambia. It also talks about the Ijo people who are from Nigeria. It speaks about also the Yoruba people, the famous people from Nigeria. It has also expressed the revelation of the Fang people from Gabon. It has talked about the Ife people from Congo. It has also talked about the Agikuyu people. So we ourselves added others which were not here, and also new versions that are available in other books. Just notice that we have also used, just to counter-check, AI and Google Scholar to counter-check on the books that have been written from the Western point of view. Again, this book talks about the prehistorical culture and traditions of the African people. And it has talked about what we've learned from school about the early humanoids. So it has talked extensively about the research, the paleoanthropological research and findings about around the sites in Kenya, Tanzania, Ethiopia, and South Africa. And it has systematically mentioned these people who have been purported to have lived more than 3.6 million years ago around the area of in the Precambrian craters, like in the Cape Verde, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Congo, and some parts of West Africa. It has also taken us back to around 33 million years ago, when human modern traits appears to have been part of the revelation, if at all man was created as primitive as the Bible expresses and also as science expresses. It has talked about the mitochondrian mother who existed in East Africa around 2 million years ago. It has also talked about the migration of these humanoids from East Africa to Asia around 1.8 million years ago. And so this is what you are likely to find in this book. A lot of speculations, a lot of unverified information. Some of these information are just mentioned because in prehistoric and paleo-anthropological and paleo-archaeological research, you don't get much. You don't get the social fit. You don't get the cultural aspect. You only get artifacts that gives you the story. And so at the end of the day, it is the story of a specific, the researcher and analysts that will carry the day. And so sometimes when you're reading such kind of books, it is incumbent upon you who has an interest, because if you have an interest, you have a calling in you that you are supposed also to fill in. And all these ideas, when they come up together, we may end up having a very diverse culture as we are today. So it was then, because I believe each and every person, these humanoids who lived then, thought differently. Nobody was ever thinking in a uniform manner, as we have seen empires trying to do to those whom they control, they call subjects. Religions try to do to those whom they call adherents. And education system tries to do to those whom they call students or pupils. And so the other aspect of this book will include the African prehistoric ecosystem. This is the natural ecosystem and civility. Because sometimes you wonder, we only know the civilization, the Western civilization that was brought by colonialists and missionaries. But we don't know what happened before then. So the picture that is painted to us is about our grandparents, ancestors, who were in their right trajectory of growth from what you learn from this book, what your culture and your tradition has taught you. And now, if you don't have the background information about these cultural traditions and you compare them with the Western civilization, you'll automatically hate your culture. You'll automatically perpetuate the narrative of ancestral curses, because you don't know, you don't have the information, you don't have the background, you don't know how much your ancestors, your great-grandfathers and great-grandmothers suffered in the hands of the missionaries and the colonialists. And to change the narrative from their poverty, in quote, stricken life, into what is Western modernity. It appears that Western modernity is a salvation. But in reality, we have looked at the paleo-ecological conditions, especially cited by Sadiq, around 20,000 to 15,000 BC. And this will tell you, during this period, which is called the Holocene period, the Saharan region was green. The Saharan region had the biggest lake the world has known, or has ever known, or will ever know. or has ever known or will ever know. And so it is very important to have background information of who and where your cultural tradition, your traditional nation, ethnic nation came from. Nobody tells you where they came from. But when you read your Bible, it tells you where the nation of Israel came from. Does that not make people who consume the information in the Bible think, if these people are telling us where they came from, why don't we know where we came from? And it is a systematic, strategic approach that was designed by the colonialists for Africans to forget who they were, while for them they consume what was the background and the ancient history of Africans, which was borrowed from Africa between 600 BC to the time they came to colonize Africans. They have been visiting Africa and borrowing a lot of knowledge, but they'll never tell you that, so that you may not know that all we know today is because it all came from Africa. So what was the significance of Saharan desert then? This is where farming came from. This is where art was developed from. This is where economies like farming, fishing, pastoralism, economies like craft, art on the rocks, sculpturing, and even weapon making design through smelting of sand and stones and soils to come up with different minerals. Africans have never used cheap metal for battle or for weaponry. They have always used iron. The other metals like copper, like tin, zinc, like bronze, they were used for other ornaments and other usages. But for iron, Africans have always known the Iron Age. But in the Bible, the Israelites, they have used bronze for war. They have used copper for war. But what is even more important is that Africans used to trade with Babylon, which is where Abraham came from. And Africa, and especially the people of Kemet, which is today's Egypt, they used to control the whole of Palestine, the whole of what we know as Egypt today, and part of northern Sudan we know today. So this is how significant this history is, because it is where civilization, especially among the Bantu and the Nilotes, find their roots. And so when you lose this in class, when you don't get any knowledge about this in school, it tells a lot. It tells that somebody is trying to wash away what is rightfully yours, what you're supposed to know, what should give you power. If at all education and knowledge is power, if at all education is the key to success, why are you not given what made your ancestors successful in their life? What made your ancestors civilized? And at some point, what I didn't want to do is to juxtapose or to compare what was happening in the other continents when Africa was thriving in this civilization, because I didn't want to bring that division, the multipolarism of what we are understanding as the global village through digital mechanism, But people always find a way of dividing themselves. If you don't look at our differences from history, from culture, traditions, legends, people will always find a division through racism. People will always find a division through classism. And so people are, for some reason, probably fear of the unknown. They must find something that is different for them to engage in either a debate, a war, a conflict. And so whoever emerges as the winner will be able to sit the other down, and probably the other one to have concessions, or to be assimilated or absorbed, or to have an alliance or even a coalition against another bigger threat. So this is how cultures have always formulated. And it is very important at this juncture, because later in the other books in this volume, or any other volume, because the content is the same but it has been simplified according to the ages, you will be able to know which each tribe, or most of them, the dominant ones in East Africa, came from. And so it is very important for us to be able to understand that life has always been very easy. Technology has always been used by these people that you are told they were primitive and their belief was satanic or demonic. Please, it is up to you to rise up to the occasion and seek for knowledge that will uplift you, that will make you who God purposed, that will make you realize that God is beyond any religion and faith tradition. These are structures and systems that will help us to learn about God. But as soon as they start limiting you, limiting your knowledge, limiting your potential, then they deviate from God. Whether you come from whatever church, and all these faith traditions and religious traditions have come short of the glory of God because of one thing: wanting to control people and acquire resources. This is where the shortcoming comes from. And when they acquire resources, they start behaving like the way society is wired. If it is racism gets in your religious faith and your faith traditions. If it is corruption comes in, because it comes in as a way of life. It is normalized out there. And the people who come to church are people who are out there. And the worst thing is that how we approach God and how we relate with God today is not the way Africans used to relate with God. Africans used to relate with God every day. But today there is this system of having a single day in a week where people converge to relate and to approach God, is a system that has continued to paralyze humanity. Humanity is descending, not to animosity. Animals have always maintained their purpose in this world, but humanity is descending to nothingness. And nothingness is evil. This is where evil comes from. So next time we shall be looking at this other book,